Fears of a recession and economic woes aren't driving all small business owners into hiding. Entrepreneurs are finding new ways to market old ideas. In fact, online advertisers like Yodle Incorporated are sprouting up to manage company websites and promote various brands. Here to tell us how small businesses are finding ways to stay up in a down market is Yodle Inc. CEO Cunningham. The first time I heard of your company, by the way, I thought it was Neil Cavuto's Yodle company because he loves the... How did you get the name Yodle?
We thought it evoked what we do, which is we call out and draw attention to our customers and help them generate leads.
It's not because you like Yodle so much. So how have you, now you raised capital for your company mostly in 2007, correct?
Yep. We did 2 rounds with Bessemer Ventures here in New York and Draper Fisher Jurvetson.
But basically, when times were great, you raised money.
Yep.
How are you doing now, and how are you continuing to raise money? Because you still need cash.
Well, we actually have plenty of cash. We have more cash than we need to get.
You have plenty of cash in this environment?
Well, we do. The fact of the matter is that local online advertising is the fastest growing segment in online advertising, growing 40–50% a year.
Now, describe what you mean by local internet advertising.
So online advertising has been around for about 10–15 years, and the first advertisers were large national brands, Netflix, Blockbuster, those Hertz car rental, those kinds of people. And in the last 2 or 3 years, small businesses, your local lawyer, plumber, dentist, are starting to advertise online.
People who used to rely solely on the yellow pages or maybe an occasional billboard.
Absolutely. And what's changed is 2 years ago, only about 1/3 of Americans would search for local businesses online. Today, about 2/3 search for local businesses online. And that's essentially a great audience for our advertisers to generate leads.
And what do you do for them? Describe what you do for these small businesses.
So most of these small businesses have no idea how to get online. They long for the day when they could pick up the phone, call their Yellow Pages rep, and give them $500 a month and the phone would ring. And so what we do in today's day and age is we make their phone ring by different means, end to end. We buy ads for them on dozens of sites across the web, Google, Yahoo, MSN. We host a website for them, and then we drive phone calls to their business.
And you charge a monthly fee, right?
We charge a monthly fee.
About $800, is it?
It varies depending on your marketing goals, but
is that about a good average?
$800.
So for that $800, they get not only a website, or at least a position on various websites, but they also get updates, correct?
Absolutely. They get their own website, 5 to 15
because
pages.
For folks who don't know, it's not enough just to have an ad on the web, because if you have it on there and it stays there, it's the same old ad, your competitors get wind of what you're doing, they'll try to jump ahead of you, and there are all kinds of reasons why you don't want that. So you have to continually update those web ads.
Which is why people come to us. It's complex. If you go into Google, there's all kinds of jargon, max bid, CPC, CPA. If you're not an expert in online advertising, you have no idea what it means. Also, we optimize across hundreds of different ad types for our customer. And as a small business person, optimizing hundreds of ad types across dozens of websites, they don't have time for that.
Now, how do you find the return on investment, if at all, from this $800 a month investment? If I've got a small business, $800 a month is a big chunk of cash.
Absolutely. It's a very significant amount of cash, and we take that very seriously in terms of making sure that we drive results for our customers. It varies by segment, but the return is anywhere from 6 to 8 times return on investment.
Now, how do you measure that? It sounds good as an advertisement for you, but how do you measure that?
Right, so everyone says their ROI is great. The beauty of the web is that it's completely accountable and measurable. So when we put your ad, let's say you're a dentist in New York, we put your ad on Google, consumer clicks on that, we can measure that. When the consumer picks up the phone, we use voice over IP phone technology to allow the consumer to call the business owner. And so we track that end to end. So you can measure exactly how many phone calls you're getting, and we measure to the penny what your cost per click is, as well as your cost per call.
Now, are you cheaper than using the Yellow Pages?
It's interesting. We've just we're in the middle of a study with Kelsey Group, who's an industry analyst group, and what we found is it varies by segment. So some segments, like plastic surgeons, for example, we are substantially more effective than the Yellow Pages.
Now, I know you want to sell your business, but there are other businesses out there who do similar things, and there are people who would want to do these things on their own. They have to know that it is kind of risky if you're putting your own stuff online, primarily, again, because you always want to be changing it.
I mean, doing it yourself is risky, just in the sense that you may not get a return on investment. A lot of our customers actually are people who used to do it themselves. We've got a florist in D.C., Palace Florist, who created his own website, built up his own keyword campaign on Google, and essentially found it was taking him 4 or 5 hours a week. He now works with us. He's generating more leads for less money, and he's got 4 hours to actually do his business and take care of his customers.
Finally, how is business doing for you now? Do you find it decreasing, increasing, or about the same as we kind of slow down in this economic scale?
Right. So we are growing very quickly, over 400% a year.
400% a year was when times were good. You're annualizing even these past couple of weeks?
So January, we grew 55% over December.
Wow.
But it's partly that we generate great results for our clients. But as I said, it's also we're riding a wave. Consumers are moving to using the web for local search.
You're also a good barometer of what's happening out there. Do you get a sense that there is a big economic slowdown?
Absolutely. Our customers are scrutinizing their spend more carefully. And one of the things we're encouraging and we're seeing as working for these businesses is that online advertising is a great antidote to the slowdown because it's measurable. Why in a recession where you're trying to pinch pennies and save money, why would you spend money in a medium where you don't really know if it's working? You ask people, how's your Yellow Pages working for you? And they say, I don't know. So why would you spend money there as opposed to on the web where we can tell you to the penny what your cost per call is?
Very interesting. Well, I'm glad you're doing well in this down market, or market that's sliding a little bit. Kirk Cunningham, Yodle Inc., not the food, but the website. Thanks very much. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you coming on. On deck, the business of sports with